You're listening to the Conscious Her podcast. Today, I'm going to be addressing the question, what is the difference between a medium, a psychic, and an intuitive? Then I'm going to break down who to consult based on your needs, and finally, I'm going to give you 3 easy and quick tips that you can use right now to help you pick the best psychic, medium, or intuitive to work with. So stick around. Hi, I'm Kimberly Morrow, and you're listening to the Conscious Her podcast. The Conscious Her is an accessible online platform and community of conscious women that are empaths, highly sensitive people, and intuitives who are both curious and passionate about spiritual and energetic self-development. As a professional psychic medium, spiritual guide and mentor, intuitive energy healer, and channel for over 5 years now, I dedicate my life to reconnecting energetically sensitive women to the divine within themselves so that they can live the most fulfilling, rewarding, and transformational life possible by remembering who they are and why they're here. If you're looking to learn how to leverage and apply your incredible energetic gifts in your personal and professional life and utilize your intuition and sensitivity as your personal superpowers, this podcast is for you. So let's dive into today's discussion right now. Hey, beautiful light being, and welcome to the Conscious Her podcast. Welcome to episode number 5. Today, I'm going to be talking about the difference between a medium, a psychic, and an intuitive, and who you can consult based on what your needs are. Many people use the words psychic, medium, and intuitive interchangeably, but they actually mean very different things. When I say intuitives, I usually refer to anyone with intuitive gifts and abilities, but it can also just mean someone that is intuitive. And if you're a highly sensitive soul, chances are you'll identify with both of those meanings. Furthermore, a psychic isn't necessarily a medium, but a medium is always a psychic. This is an important distinction and a good place to start because I meet clients all the time who misunderstand the difference and confuse the two. Did you know that everyone is psychic? To varying degrees, of course, but not everyone is a medium. However, I believe that you can train yourself to become a medium, just like I did, if that authentic desire lives within you. And it does not live within the majority of people. And I think that's why mediums are often the black sheep of the world. Both mediums and psychics are highly intuitive, but you don't need to be a medium or a psychic to be highly intuitive. Are you confused yet? So let's start off with an intuitive and work our way upwards from there. So what is an intuitive? Well, why don't we start off with what is intuition? Intuition is our instincts or innate inclination toward a particular behavior as opposed to a learnt response or reaction. It's a gut feeling, a hunch, some people say. It's this sensation that appears at times quietly or at times very loud and powerfully, but it is very quick and it does give enough time for us to act upon if we choose to. Intuition is what we feel as direction without fully being aware of the underlying reasons for its occurrence. It's illogical and defies analytic reasoning. It gives us the ability to instantly know something directly without thinking it through first with our brains. There's no conscious deliberation involved with intuition. And we don't know how we know something to be true. It cannot be shared, duplicated, or explained, yet it feels completely natural when it happens, and it happens so quickly. The funny thing about intuition is that the more you try to think about it, the less accurate it becomes. Intuition is also holistic in that it can combine a lot of information and insights from a variety of sources that gives us a leap in our thinking with limited information to base it on, which is so cool. Intuition bridges this gap between the conscious and subconscious or unconscious parts of our minds. Your subconscious mind is the source of your hidden genius and will always provide you with the knowledge you need to move forward in the right direction. This is where your higher self can be accessed at that subconscious mind. When someone uses their intuition, they're tapping into some incredibly insightful and thought-provoking information, I'd say, on the subtle energy planes, which one can use to quietly guide themselves and assist themselves in all type of situations. When one uses their intuition, they've got a knowledge source that they can't quite explain, and yet it's 90% right on most occasions. What's really interesting is that researchers cannot locate intuition anywhere in the human brain. Yet when you read further into intuition, you'll get all types of articles that try to relate intuition to something scientific or logical or in the brain, which really makes me laugh because it just shows the limitations of our human brains and our inability to understand the mind. I believe that it is the most human way, the most acceptable way of acknowledging our minds and how they are tapped into source energy, the universe, the whole, whatever you'd like to call it. And when we receive intuitive thoughts and feelings, we are experiencing little nuggets of universal intelligence. The more we welcome this information coming through and actually act on it, the more of it comes to us. The more we disregard and ignore the information coming through and don't act on it, the less it comes to us. Everyone and anyone can use and access their intuition. It's a built-in factory setting as a human being. Yet some people are more naturally intuitive than others, and particularly in the realm of expertise, or where their gifts and abilities lie. Everyone and anyone can use and access their intuition. It's a built-in factory setting as a human being, yet some people are more naturally intuitive than others, and particularly in their realm of expertise or where their gifts and abilities lie. Within the community of the conscious her, I use the word intuitive or intuitives because it naturally encapsulates highly sensitive souls and energetically sensitive women who are gifted with their intuition, because that's part of being a highly sensitive soul, having an elevated intuition and the ability to feel, sense, and experience energy more clearly and profoundly in many, many ways. You can experience this part of yourself as a highly sensitive soul without experiencing psychic or mediumistic tendencies. You can be highly, highly intuitive without being a psychic or a medium. And you can use that heightened sense of intuition with whatever your gifts and abilities are and in your divine line of service to others. So when would you consult someone who's an intuitive? You would consult someone who's an intuitive that primarily works in the realm of healing, who is a practitioner in the spiritual healing industry, or in the spiritual arts. I'm going to list off some of these professions for you, and I want to note that some of these are also scientifically proven methods in the West as well. So for example, you may go to someone for ancestral or karmic clearing, past life regression therapy or hypnosis, the emotion code or body code, acupuncture, an aromatherapy massage or energy massage, healing or therapeutic touch, bioenergy healing, craniosacral therapy, Reiki, German New Medicine. There are so many different types and forms of spiritual practitioners out there in the industry who can do incredible transformational work for you when it comes to healing the physical, mental, and emotional planes on an energetic level. Usually with this type of healing, working with your physical body is involved, because the physical body helps us identify where the problem areas are as a result of prolonged energetic imbalance or disruption in the mental or emotional planes, and what we may do to heal and restore them. Chances are people who are in these types of professions that rely on intuition for information are likely highly sensitive souls. It comes natural to them, and they're able to use their gifts and abilities in a way that serves others. This is why you find so many people who are light workers in this field in particular. There's so many people in these types of fields that would do this work for free if they could. So now let's move on into psychics. What is a psychic? A psychic is a person who uses extrasensory perception, or ESP, to identify and uncover information not obvious or attainable from the normal human senses. Psychics tune into the energy of people or objects by feeling or sensing elements of their past, present, and future. And simply put, psychics rely on their basic sense of intuition and their specific psychic abilities to gather information for the person being read. Psychics keep their focus in reading energy in the human dimension, and they will pick up on intangible information about a person, place, or thing. Whether or not the information is verified or real is uncertain, of course. Psychic readings are often associated with predicting future events or occurrences and reading energy of the future, and they don't commonly look into the past. A lot of people connect psychic readings with what's called fortune telling. In my humble opinion, I believe that predicting the future or fortune telling, while it can be helpful, it also really runs the risk of disempowering people who don't have a good level of self-awareness. And it can also feed into self-fulfilling prophecies and influence people to make decisions and choices that they may not have made naturally on their own. Psychic information is often just insight into what potentially could happen based on the road you're currently traveling and where you are right now in time, in the time and space that the psychic reading is done. And it should be used only as a guideline to help you make the best choices for yourself, but you shouldn't completely rely on it. This is because at any point after the reading takes place, you can make a choice or decision that has a ripple effect into the millions of possibilities of outcomes that can either be the same or different from what the psychic picked up on. On the other side of this, psychic readings can have many other valuable uses. For example, like finding items that are lost, identifying patterns within yourself that need to be healed or resolved that you can't see, providing encouragement with regards to current situations or circumstances, helping you avoid issues or danger, helping you to be more mindful of others around you and what they're going through and how it may affect you. just to name a few. There's really endless benefits to this, but the most important thing that you must do when consulting a psychic, and I always say this, is cross-reference with your own intuition and internal guidance system or internal reference system. When you combine the two, you can walk away from a session with a lot of golden information to help you. Also, you can sense when someone is giving you authentic information, or if they're just telling you what you want to hear, or validate you, or confirm something you already know and believe. Note as well that psychics alone do not interact with the spirit realm or connect with the spirit realm at the time of the reading. They are not consulting any beings in higher consciousness, and they are not connecting with energy that is discarnate at the time of the reading, unless they're also a medium. So it's important for you to know that. So not all psychics, are mediums. So psychics alone do not interact with the spirit realm or connect with the spirit realm at the time of the reading. Unless they're also a medium and they can combine the two abilities, such like myself. And just as a side note, the other thing to note about psychics is that they're often talented with using divination tools such as tarot cards or oracle cards, runes, pendulums, tea leaves, even astrology, and sometimes even scrying is used as well. So keep that in mind. So when would you consult a psychic? You would consult a psychic if it feels right to you, first of all, and if you need help identifying or reading energy in the human 3D realm, that you cannot use your intuition alone to get you through. If you just need more information, some reassurance, more insight into a certain person, a certain place, event, situation, or circumstance, for example, psychic readings may offer guidance, inspiration, a fresh perspective, or strategies for dealing with challenges. A professional psychic with authentic, heart-based intentions will be able to give you enough information that will help you ease your mind and not make you feel addicted to getting more readings and finding out more stuff about your life. They'll help you feel more in tune with your own intuition and internal guidance system. They'll also help you identify gifts, abilities, potentials within yourself that could be lying dormant and ready to use. I always say if you need to take notes in a psychic reading, then it's usually a good one. So that's what I have for you for psychics. And then finally, we have a medium. So what is a medium? A medium is also a psychic, like we just discussed, but they are also someone who is able to manipulate and raise their own vibrational frequency to a level in which they can match with beings in the astral realm that are not apparent or visible in the earth plane. Mediums can connect with higher realms of consciousness to obtain information, insight, and wisdom from the spirit world. And mediums are also able to transcend the energetic veil that separates the physical from the non-physical realms. A medium is a mediator or a messenger that can interact between both the physical and the astral plane simultaneously in order to bring a message from the astral realm to the physical realm. They can be a direct translator by way of receiving energetic frequencies and then communicating them to others in the earth realm. To break it down in somewhat of a scientific way, all human beings are made up of the superconscious, the subconscious, and conscious minds. In mediumship, all thoughts, feelings, sights, and senses are transmitted through the superconscious or the spirit mind. The message is then moved into the conscious mind and then it is revealed. In other words, a medium is able to interpret these messages, translate them, and then convey them on the earth plane to others. They can use their psychic senses at the same time to feel, sense, hear voices, or receive mental impressions from the spirit realm. Spirits they often use telepathy to communicate. So a medium is able to become completely receptive to the higher frequencies or energies on which the spirit realm vibrates. The energy of a spirit imprints or melds itself onto the superconscious mind of the medium. From there, the message moves into the conscious mind, and the medium is able to deliver the message. Again, this is different from a psychic because a medium is able to connect with discarnate energy. In psychic work, a psychic does not receive information from spirit on a higher vibrational frequency. A medium works directly with the spirit realm and for the spirit realm, and both sides have to be willing to take part in the communication process. Otherwise, there is no communication. Also, a medium uses his or her psychic or intuitive abilities to see the past, present, and future events of a person by tuning into their spirit energy surrounding that person. This means that mediums rely, bold and underline, rely on the presence of non-physical, discarnate energy outside of themselves for the information relevant to the person being read. Many people like myself for many years believed that mediums only consult with, air quote, dead people, which of course is not true. And I truly dislike those words to describe those who have transitioned. Mediums can connect energetically with any form of incarnated and discarnate beings, just so you know. Loved ones who have passed into the spirit form or back into consciousness are not, air quote, dead. They have only changed form and are no longer in the physical body. So keep that in mind. Mediums are able to communicate with loved ones, but they are also able to communicate with higher realms of consciousness that have not incarnated on Earth, like spirit guides sometimes, angels. There's so many different types of spirit guides and higher forms of consciousness around to connect to. As a medium, I am personally easily able to connect with many different forms of discarnate energy, but most of my readings focus on connecting with spirit guides and spirit teachers and angels. Quite often I am unsure of who I am connecting with, and unless I ask specifically, or if I specifically need to identify a spirit for a reading or a loved one for a reading. Many times loved ones contact me first to let me know they are there for this session, but not all loved ones talk or deliver messages to their relatives. Either way, it's always beautiful to have their presence for this session. So when would you consult a medium? So this doesn't include everything, but these are the main reasons. Firstly, you can consult a medium for any of the reasons you might consult a psychic. However, you must know that when you are connecting for guidance through a medium with the spirit realm, they will not reveal any future predictions or fortune telling, so to speak, because they don't work or operate within the human realm. So they will only give you guidance that will best help you now in the present in order to help you achieve or redirect the best possible outcome for yourself. They live in the realm of possibilities and provide guidance based on that, not a fixed or determined outcome. You would most often consult a medium in order to connect directly with loved ones in the spirit realm and to receive messages from them of love, of healing, and of peace. And Note that if you do decide to see a medium, that a medium cannot summon anyone in the spirit realm. Those in spirit also have the free will to choose whether or not they want to communicate with you or show up for the reading itself. So you have to attend that type of session with an open heart and an open mind, and just know that you may not hear from who you are hoping to hear from. Also, please remember that no one knows you better than yourself, and no one has a closer connection with your loved ones in spirit and the spiritual guides that you do. By learning to go within, listen to, and trust your own inner voice, you gain access to everything you'll ever need to know. And what could be better than that, right? Of course, you can always connect with a medium to communicate with your spirit guides and your spirit team, who can virtually help you with anything in your human life. Nothing is really out of bounds here. What you need to know is that the guidance coming through will always be guidance, assistance, suggestions. It will never be demands, orders, or directions in a blatant or authoritative way. Ever, ever, ever. You will never be told what to do, okay? You will never be told what to do from the spirit realm. All guidance that you receive will come strictly based in love. If it doesn't feel like love, it isn't, okay? It's not a spirit guide. The main goal of your deceased loved ones or those in spirit and your spirit guides is to assist you in moving on free of grief and struggle, and to gain even greater clarity so that you can fulfill your life lessons and your divine missions and thoroughly enjoy your time here on Earth. And I want to address the elephant in the room at this point. I want to address the elephant in the room about psychics and mediums and what society trains us to believe about psychics and mediums. Not all people who are psychics or mediums or perform psychic or mediumship readings have authentic, heart-based, good intentions, nor are they always light workers. I've encountered many people who are actually the opposite, but they may try to deceive others and identify as a light worker for their own benefit or gain at the expense of the client. I've seen people run entire businesses, brick and mortar businesses, with this type of energy, and you likely have too, especially online through social media, and you can usually tell it's dark energy because the energy doesn't lie. It's a very, very sad state of affairs, and it hurts my heart because this is where people can get taken advantage of, manipulated, and even traumatized. And unfortunately, it's these people who give anyone who works as a psychic a bad name. They ruin it for all the millions of light workers out there who truly use their gifts and abilities for the most genuine, heart-based intentions. You may or may not have experienced this, but hopefully by now you've found yourself someone who works as a psychic or a medium who have given you plenty of helpful guidance in whichever area you desire, or if you haven't gotten there yet, now you have the ability to decipher properly. For a long time, I really resisted identifying myself as a psychic and as a medium because I was so afraid of the judgment and ridicule that came with it. But eventually, I just had to trust that because I was authentic and had true heart-based intentions, and still do, of course, that it would work out, and I would gain the trust of others. I would gain the community. I would draw in the people who saw me for who I truly was. And it did, which I'm so grateful for. What's key as a highly sensitive soul and energetically sensitive person is that you've got an unbelievably good BS detector. And you can sense it pretty quickly when something is off. You'll really be able to feel it in your core. So always trust that. So now that we've covered what an intuitive is, what a psychic is, and what a medium is, And when you would consult them, I want to provide you with 3 quick tips and action steps that you can take if you feel like you're ready to work with one of those 3. So number 1 is, once you find someone, always make sure you seek and find testimonials and references out before you set up a session with anyone working in this industry, and use your intuition and internal guidance system to decipher if this person is legitimate. Always do your research beforehand and be picky. I also suggest that you find someone that you have worked with before or had a session with before, someone that you really trust, and ask them to make a suggestion for you for whichever it is that you need help with, and see what they come up with. That's another really good way to get a solid reference. Number 2 is, once you've found this person that you think and feel to be legitimate, ask yourself, do they represent themselves with love frequency? And are they heart-centered? In other words, do you feel the energy of love coming from them? This takes a lot of feeling into the energy that they emit. The simple way to do this is just by researching them, look up their social media, look at their pictures and videos, look at what they post about, look at their website, look at their public reviews. You can get a lot of information just by looking at them or hearing their voice or looking at the type of information they post. Ask them a question about their services or about themselves as an inquiry, and see how they respond. Trust the vibe you get when you're doing this. Many highly sensitive people and energetically sensitive women can read energy very proficiently. So this is where you can use this ability that you have to decipher who will work well and probably who won't. So this is where you can use your intuition very strongly. And then we have number 3, which is resonance. You'll often hear me speaking about energetic resonance. And if you haven't already, do go back and listen to episode number 4, because I do discuss this in much more detail. When it comes to this type of thing, when you feel a resonance with someone you seek out, it's because that person has the ability to serve you in the most authentic, truest way possible for your own soul learning, for your own soul healing, for your soul path. It's simply reading the energy of someone else in the situation and following up with your intuition. The reason I always suggest resonance is because reading energy of resonance in your body and getting to know that feeling of resonance in your body bypasses your mind, your human mind, your brain, your ego. You can't really meddle with it or sabotage it when you're feeling that resonance in your body. It just is what it is. It's a deep knowing and a familiarity. And even if you don't feel that feeling intensely, that's okay. It's just a feeling of comfort or of safety, I would even say, a safe feeling with that person. Additionally, what may really resonate for someone else may not necessarily resonate for you. So it's really good to get into the practice of recognizing that feeling of intuitive resonance, because once you use that feeling, you can really put it towards your advantage in navigating life. And particularly when it comes to finding someone in the spiritual healing industry that can help you with whatever your needs are. So let's review the steps really quickly once again. Number 1, once you find someone, always make sure you seek and find testimonials and references out before you set up a session. Always use your intuition and internal guidance system to decipher if the person is legitimate. Number 2, ask yourself if the person represents love frequency, and are they heart-centered? Can you feel love energy coming from them? And stalk them a little bit, look at their social media, look at their website, look at their pictures, look at their videos, look at what they talk about, look at their public reviews, get a really good sense of their energy and what type of energy they are aligned with. You'll be able to do this easily. And then there's number 3, which is resonance. Does the person that you're seeking out give you a feeling of resonance in your body? In other words, do they give you a feeling of familiarity, of safety, of security, of comfort, a really good energy that you share between the two? It's a distinct feeling that you feel in your body. You can feel it lightly or you can feel it deeply. And it's good to get yourself into the flow of recognizing this feeling. And it really expedites the process of choosing the person who is right for you. I've had people in the past where I did find someone who I knew was legitimate. I did feel that they were coming from love frequency and that they were heart-centered, but I didn't feel a resonance with them. And you may even find this yourself. So if you can get all three, then that's a big check mark in terms of verifying that this person can actually help you and make a big impact on your healing and whatever else it is that you are looking for. That is all that I have for you today. If you learned something on the episode today, share it with me over on Instagram. My handle is @theconsciousher. Secondly, if you resonate with what I'm saying today, or you feel like I might be a good person to teach you, to guide you, or to mentor you, you can head over to my website at www.theconsciousher.com to find out more about how we can begin working together. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll catch you over on the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode and for listening to the Conscious Her podcast. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here and a part of our community. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you subscribe and share it on your social media channels with your spiritual soul sisters, friends, family, and network. Chances are, if this resonated with you, it will for them too. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'm here to help. You can email me at hello@theconsciousher.com, and I may even use your question or topic of discussion for a future podcast episode. If you want daily support for your highly sensitive soul, please visit me over on Instagram @theconsciousher. If you're interested in working with me, visit www.theconsciousher.com and be sure to subscribe to my mailing list. Finally, I do have a personal request. I believe that our purpose here is to heal ourselves and to serve others. And together, you and I can help more people. If you would please leave a positive review for this podcast on iTunes, I'd be so eternally grateful for your support. Thank you and have a great day.